to the Hambone Show. This is the 2022 Hambone Fantasy Football Playoff Edition. The playoffs have arrived, and we're starting this one off with our 2-minute drill. Let's bring in our very own Chris Berdmen. Welcome to the show. This is your 2-minute drill.
Whoop whoop! It's playoff week! Back! Whoop whoop! Let's get to the upcoming matches. Our first playoff match, Team Money Pro Roofers and GM Travis. It's awkward when the DMV asks for his hair color Harris from
Travis Harris, Team Money Pro Roofer, aka Rando Slayer, the Huntsville High.
Versus the rumbling, stumbling Papa Murphs and his perfectly shaved beard. Now introducing the opponent, the Murph Muncher, and the beard Abraham Lincoln would be jealous of.
Murphy, with the Papa Murph Munchers from Webb City, Missouri.
Papa Murphs coming to this one 9-5, but appear to be limping in the playoffs after dropping their last three. Team Money and the Pro Roofers will be riding into town with his one-legged quarterback Kyler Murray. This is a win or go home matchup. We're talking Papa Murphs in a close one, 202 to 195. Pack your bags, Team Money. The road ends here. In our second matchup of the weekend, we have in the red corner, Jacob, You're Not That Gould, and his Sunday morning hangovers from
Jacob Gould, Trash Hawks, Clarksville High School.
Versus the wing splitter and the horse he rode in on, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, his intro video is a bit awkward, but I only have 2 minutes and will explain later. This one appears to be a David versus Goliath match, with the 10-4 Trash Hawks being our heavy favorite. Trash Hawks GM Jacob Gould is known to embarrass his family on occasion and change his lineup last minute on Sunday. It appears Wig Splitter and his awkward intro video call will need to rely on the late night drinking of the Trash Hawks GM. We're taking the Trash Hawks to move on and party like it's 1998, 245 to 191. Trash Hawks advance. Woo woo! Now moving on to two alphas in the Hambone League who will be awaiting the winners. With these two top teams on bye week, our number one seed coming in 12-2 is the He Could Go All the Way Barone Sanitation from
Antonio Soprano Jr. Barone Sanitation, Newark Community College.
Bada Bing appears to be the heavy favorite this season, and Barone Sanitation will look to get his first ring in 2022. It's now or never. Win or go home. Take all the bread and make it sweet. I'm not sure what that means, but I said it anyway in Bada Bing's best Al Davis voice. Just win, baby. But not so fast, Mr. Barone Sanitation guy. Say hello to the bad guy.
Nick Kern, Tiger Kings, Clarksville High School.
The Tiger King and his 2022 Bloodbath Tour have been cutting through its competition all year and could sneak in the back door when the GMs aren't looking and snatch up the 2022 Hambone Championship. If we learned anything from the bad guys, it ain't over till the late Razor Ramon says it's over. The stage is set, folks. Get ready. Start your engines, GMs. The playoffs are here. This has been your 2-minute drill with Chris Berdmen. Now back to you, Chase. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Chris. Chris Berdmen, folks. One of our favorite guests on the Hambone Show. This is the time of year when the rubber hits the road and we separate the contenders from the pretenders. When we come back, we'll break down the GMs who didn't make the playoffs. Yes, the losers who'll be sitting on their couches this playoff season. Find out what went wrong and what changes need to be made for next year. We'll be back after this break.
Hi, I'm Robert Lee. I own Coleman Liquidation. I sell mobile homes. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to tell it just like it is. These are mobile homes, not mansions. They come in two pieces. If that's what you're looking for, that's what I got. They're used. Some of them have stains. We cover that up. She decorates them. She sells them. These guys help me move them. A bouncer in Birmingham hit me in the face with a crescent wrench 5 times. And my wife's boyfriend broke my jaw with a fence post. So if you don't buy a trailer from me, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. So come on down to Coleman Liquidation and get yourself a home. Or don't. I don't care.
Back to the Hambone Fantasy Football Playoff Edition. Our next guest is a beat writer for the local Roar newspaper. The fans at home want answers. 6 teams didn't deliver this year, starting with last year's champ, GM Zane Reynolds and Reynolds Rap. Just a disastrous season at 4-10. Another team that underperformed was the Bubbos, finishing at 4-10 as well. Also, GM Deej and the SOS. All 3 finished 4-10. Welcome to the show, Donald. Give us your thoughts on these 3 organizations that failed miserably.
Thanks, Chase. And yes, Reynolds Rap just didn't deliver. After such a strong run last year, we certainly expected more. I believe Mr. Reynolds will need to get more involved in managing his roster this coming off season. It's a year-round job in Dynasty, and his activity was minimal. It's too competitive of a league to take a 5-month vacation in the off season. As for GM Jason Sumner and the Bubbos, well, although he's active in the offseason chat room, Mr. Sumner will certainly need to take more risk this offseason. The Bubbos roster is not a top-tier roster. We know this. And it'll be imperative that he gets more deals done over the summer. Granted, a lot of injuries this year, yes, with guys like Javonte Williams and Breece Hall having season-ending injuries. The Bubbos and the GM, they're still going to need to take a hard look in the mirror. There are no excuses in this business. We know that. And for SOS, we certainly missed the mark going into the season on this one. Our Roar News preseason prediction for this team was 10-4. GM Deej certainly flipped the script on us this season. We didn't see 4-10 coming from this organization. On the other hand, Deej has been proactive, sending off some of his key pieces in return for draft picks. More GMs probably need to take this same approach.
I remind you, we are talking with lead beat writer Donald, with Roar News joining us tonight. Let's talk about GM Bo Dutton and perpetual rebuild. He does have 6 first-round draft pickups in 2023. I'd also like to get your take on GM Jacob Bragg and GM Isaac Rice with Sack. Do you see Bragg's big balls being more competitive next year?
Yeah, starting with GM Dutton, he really did a good job accumulating draft picks last summer, and it appears he could go into the draft with 3 of the top 4 picks. The big question will be if he can get it right when he's on the clock. He didn't have any picks, so his draft evaluation ability is unknown. He'll certainly need to be on point. A lot of scouting work will need to be done over the next few months, and we'll see how that plays out. As far as GM Jacob Bragg, he certainly overachieved this past season and ended up missing the playoffs by 1 game. His team's getting older, so this is most likely a rebuilding situation. Could be a bumpy 2023-24 season. We don't see him being a contender next year. It'll be interesting to see what moves he makes this offseason. GM Bragg does have his first-round pick, so that pick could provide him with some positive momentum. It should be interesting to see what he does in the first. Where to start with Isaac Rice and his sack? Listen, it's time to blow this thing up. Okay, the GM has lost his fan base. The organization deserves better than 3-10. That's just unacceptable. The team appeared to quit on him mid-season. He did beat Papa Murph's twice this season, which was surprising. But maybe start with admitting that the problem has been internal, right? Enough blaming people on the outside, blaming bad luck, blaming injuries. You're 3-10. That's the bottom line. Try and trade off what you can, grab some 2024, 25 future draft picks that might not be appealing to some of the other organizations. That's really the best they can do right now. They've got to start looking to the future. Thanks for having me on the show, Chase. I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Donald. We'll be looking forward to seeing what moves these 6 teams who failed to make playoffs during the offseason come up with. That was lead beat writer Donald from Roar News, rumored to be the most reliable paper on this side of the Mulberry. It's always a pleasure to get his insight. We're out of time here at the Hambone Show, thanks to our guests and the production crew. The next time we see you, there will be a new Hambone champion. We look forward to presenting the ring at the 2023 Rookie Draft. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm your host, Chevy Chase. Until we meet again, boys and girls. Until we meet again.